My husband physically assaulted me at 31 weeks pregnant. Me, F23, and my husband, M24, have been married for 10 months and dating for 2 years. He never showed me his abusive side till we got married. I chose to stay because we're expecting a baby. I thought maybe this would soften him or get him to change his ways. But I was wrong. Yesterday we told me to clean the house. I told him I was going to do it anyways and I just need my AirPods to charge because I like listening to podcasts while I clean and I have my own way of doing things. He refused and tried to literally drag me to the kitchen to clean. Obviously I refused because WTF are you doing? I said I'll do it but you can't physically force me to. I tried to go back to sitting down but he wouldn't let me and that's when things took a turn for the worst. I'm not someone that allows to be bullied so I stood my ground and told him to fuck off, I'll do things the way I want to. He got mad so starting dragging me along the floor by my hair. Then we starting physically fighting. I punched him and slapped him in the face and he did the same but worse. He then locked me with him in the living room in a bear hug grip for an hour till I calmed down. I didn't. I still fought him, biting him and punching till he let me go. He got me in a headlock and squeezed my neck hard till I felt weak. I was so scared for my baby more than myself. After this I asked to be left alone and for him to give me some space, but he said only if I kissed him, which I did so he could leave me alone. I went to bed and he followed me and started feeling my belly because I'm sure he was scared for the baby. The baby was kicking as normal. Later on I felt my whole body just in pain, my back, my pelvic area. Everything seemed on fire. I slept it off and in the morning he bought me flowers and an anniversary card, even thought it's not our anniversary. I hate him with all my guts. I've secretly applied for housing and I'm waiting for approval. I'm getting my affairs in order since my baby will be here in less than 2 months. My parents don't have the space to house us and I don't want to be left homeless. Once I have the house I've applied for I'll be leaving in the night. I can't believe someone whom I loved so much could betray me like this, at my weakest and most vulnerable I've ever been in my life. Get out now. Call the police, file a report, and get yourself somewhere safe. This man has committed several significant crimes already. At some point he is going to cross the line and cause you, or your child, permanent harm. He choked you. That's the biggest predictor for murder. You and your baby are in danger. Sleep on someone's couch. Call the police, file a report and request a protection order. Even if you left this man for your own place without these things in place, you and your baby are not safe. We recently took in our pregnant daughter for the same things. Without that protection order you are not safe. Would you allow your child to stay in a home with someone who did this to them? Get out now. Go to the police and report everything right now. Get a police report on file immediately. 1 in 6 women experience domestic violence during pregnancy, and it's especially dangerous as it tends to escalate. The police will help get you into a shelter. They will be able to help speed up your application for housing. If you're in the US, you can also contact the hotline for support. Please, protect yourself and your baby and get out. If you report this to the police now, they will be able to take photos of the bruises, scratches etc. on both of your bodies. This will help you when you need to file a restraining order or try to get full custody of your child. Secondly, you need to get out of there now before he kills your unborn child or both of you, because when you die, your child will die. Your parents will let you sleep on their couch to keep you safe, if that's necessary, but the police will be able to direct you to other options. You can't wait. He's choking you, he's forcibly confining you, he's dragging you along the floor by your hair. Your life is the most important thing right now and you may not have it for long if you don't get out of this situation ASAP. He choked you. This alone is a major indicator of further violence and increases chances of him murdering you in the future by 600%. You are in extreme danger, call the police. Get out now. Call the police from the hospital. He could have killed you. Okay? Let's not beat around the bush here. Pregnant women are the most vulnerable during DV situations. There are shelters that deal with this exact situation. The priority here is safety. You are not safe. Your child is not safe. There is nothing else to think about except those 2 things. Pack a bag and get out. The most dangerous time for a woman in a relationship is during pregnancy and right after. I think my 24F husband, 33M, is staking me. I recently went back to working in the office after working from home since March 2020. When they announced that we could come back, my husband threw a fit and pretty much wanted me to either find another WFH job or just be a stay-at-home wife. We don't have kids. I love my current job so I refuse to. Ever since I've been back, he just randomly comes to my office. One day it's flowers, the next day it's food and so on. At first I thought he was just being romantic. Then we started running into each other, around town on my lunch break or at client companies even miles away from his job. This weekend I went out of town, a couple hours away, with my best friend and we both think we saw his car. Yesterday I turned my location off on my phone and he asked me why I turned it off right away. He denies checking on my location and says he randomly noticed but then was mad I wouldn't turn it back on. He won't admit to any of it. I don't even have anything to hide but it just feels weird. I could be crazy or something really weird could be going on. Do other husbands do this? How can I get him to admit it? Or how can I make sure I'm not crazy? Sure, sounds like he's stalking you. Unfortunately, this is often the start of controlling behaviors. It's not romantic. And it's not coincidence. I think he's insecure, he doesn't trust you, and this will only get worse. I'm sure he'll deny any wrongdoing. But if you think you can talk to him about this, I would, and I wouldn't wait too long. When I turned off my phone location, my now ex-husband put a GPS tracker in my car and also a video recording device in closet where I get dressed. This is not normal and will escalate. He got arrested for domestic violence stalking. I would check your car USB plug-in etc. in a week or so and see if he installed anything. This is a very bad sign. I would consider having a conversation with him where you make it clear that you know what he's doing, that it's pointless for him to deny it and that if it doesn't stop you're going to have to rethink the relationship. Do you have somewhere to go for a few days? Making space for yourself and leaving temporarily will send a clear message that this is serious, which it is. This is alarming behavior. I would leave immediately. This isn't normal in the least. He is trying to alienate you and keep you at home away from people. Then when that wouldn't work he starts stalking you. You have to admit this is pretty hardcore crazy. How long have you guys been together? Sounds like another controlling age gap cretin. Does he have a job? Does he have GPS enabled on his phone as well? It might be possible to check his location history for confirmation. And if his location is off, you should start keeping yours off too. This sounds really scary, please be careful. You are not crazy. Read The Gift of Fear. Insecure about something. Did he display controlling behaviors prior to shutdown and the WFH order? Did I overreact by ruining this guy's life? Too long did not read. Jealous friend threatened to throw acid at my ex's face and recently became more aggressive. So I reported him to police, university and his parents and he lost all his friends. Almost 2 years ago when I started university I met a guy, let's call him S, who was obsessed with me ever since the first day. He never accepted the fact that I rejected him. We basically stayed friends because we both do the same course. This academic year, he introduced me to his friend group, which I am now part of because we get along very well. But seeing him more often brought a lot of problems. He was always manipulative and controlling, saying I post too much on Snapchat, or I shouldn't speak to X and Y and Z, or telling me what to do, when to leave the party, when to go out, when not to, and every time I pointed it out he would deny it all. No, I would never control you. I just want what's best for you. He started making threats towards my, now ex-boyfriend, saying he hopes someone hits him with a car, that he wants to kill him and throw acid at his face, which scared the shit out of me and caused me a lot of anxiety. He was saying these things based on the fact that he thought my boyfriend wasn't good for me. He was stalking him on social media. Sometimes he knew his location and I don't know how. He never met my boyfriend in real life, ever. 2 nights ago, I was speaking to a guy at a bar, having a good time, when S starts insulting the guy and telling him to leave me alone. I started arguing with him over being so controlling and rude, then went back to the guy the first was speaking to. Then S comes and throws a drink at us, so the guy starts punching him down. Even the security saw what happened so they didn't even bother stopping the fight. After this I told S he terrifies me and to never contact me again because I will get a restraining order. I couldn't sleep all of that night. I was so anxious that he would get revenge with acid. So I ended up calling the police, reporting him to the university, and calling his mom. Now the university might take action against him. The friend group is basically kicking him out. He was meant to live with us next year, now he won't, and his parents called him back home and won't let him come back to campus until October. He is in big trouble with his dad too. I also told the group of friends about all the abuse he put me through, all the lies and how he wanted to kill my flatmate one night when he was drunk. I feel like he is losing all his uni friends ATM. And I feel kinda guilty. Yes, I was terrified and feeling unsafe, but everyone kept saying, he would have never thrown acid at you. So I am wondering if I overreacted? The TLR is enough for this. He threatened to throw acid in someone's face and you told the authorities. 100% on him, you did the right thing. Nope, you did not overreact. This guy is a fucking nutjob. Yeah, it is messed up that he would say something like that, let alone think it. It's also messed up that you continued to associate with him after he said that. Most definitely not. He ruined his life, definitely not you. If you left this unstable, violent fellow unchecked, he would still have ruined his life, and likely yours and others along with his own. You may have actually saved his life, because he needs help now. Thanks to you, his problems have been brought out into the open, greatly increasing his chances of getting the help he needs now. Honestly, he sounds unhinged. You did the right thing. Too long, sorry. Question. Is this guilt because in some way you are disassociating yourself from the situation? If you are still in the, this can't be happening to me, phase 1, think feeling guilty about it would naturally come out of that response. I get that you're haunted by what might have been an empty threat, but everything that happened to him happened as a result of his decisions anyway. Let him bear the consequences of his actions. You just report your truth. It's up to everyone else to determine the severity of the response. Listen, many of us wish we had people like you in this situation. You probably just saved someone's life by ending this at this stage. I, 43F, reported my 45M husband missing update. I hope that this is allowed. I just wanted to provide an update on how things were going. I spoke with my husband last night after work and we talked about what happened last week. It turns out my husband really was with his friend and co-worker, someone I do not know, but he is very big into woodworking. My husband said he too wants to get into the hobby and said he was working on making me a clock. I asked why he didn't just tell me, and he said he was embarrassed and worried that I would make fun of him because he wants to try woodworking. I told him that was absolutely awesome and a fantastic hobby, and I was so touched he would make something like that for me. We agreed that he will turn a portion of the basement into a workshop area for him, and he told me until he gets set up he will be going to his friends to finish the clock on Fridays. He apologized to me for getting mad and I apologized for thinking the worst. He said I was right to be upset, and he was angry with himself for putting me through that. Thank you to everyone for all of your advice. Call me naive all you want, but I like the update. It's super cute. And yes, I get other comments saying he was unreasonable, and he was. But he got flustered, scared and perhaps embarrassed. You were worried and mad, he reacted to that. We've all seen stories of people acting irrationally. We have ourselves most likely acted unreasonable at least once. So look forward to the clock and good work on communicating and talking it out after all the emotional turbulence. Yo, I'm sorry, but this doesn't sound cool at all. He was embarrassed and worried that you would make fun of him, so he just ghosted you? I don't know. This sounds sus as fuck to me. Glad you made up. Sending you all of the best vibes. Yeah, someone was working with wood. I'm sorry, but that explanation is fishy as all hell. Okay, maybe that is the truth. No. Otherwise he would have told you beforehand he was going to be working late and not worried you, and he wouldn't have acted so unreasonable about it. Feel free to ignore me, but I wouldn't accept that so quickly. Ignore all of the people who are embarrassed because they were wrong to jump to conclusions on your last post. This is wonderful and such a great update. Also, you will now need to make several jokes about how good it is he's making you a clock, since he clearly has issues with keeping time. If this is true, then I'm happy for you. But please be on your guard because it makes zero sense why he couldn't just text or call you from this coworker's house.